Hello guys, my name is Dr. Eric, and I'm going to be taking you through this session of physiology of vision. So, I tried to develop this video in parts. Of course, medical students, we are a bit busy, but I tried to record every time I could get time, and eventually I came up with a full video covering each and every concept that you ever need to know about vision. So why you would take this vision, this video and not other videos is because personally I have watched over 50 videos covering vision, and I've discovered that there is a lot that's missing. And as the medical students who are currently in the system, at least we know what we need, what we are facing, what the system requires of us. So that's why you may need this kind of video and not any other AI animated video. So this video has everything that you need. You just need to be patient and follow along everything. Some at somewhere you may find that something may not have come up at the time you need it, but I assure you that everything after the time that was given this video, you will have covered everything, and you'll find that you will not need the textbook at all. So let's get the ball rolling. So in this video, we are going to look at the structure of the eyeball from scratch. The reason as to why I don't use exact images extracted from Google or whatever source is because I want to make this interactive and you get to know where things come from and not just trying to give you exactly uh, what you can find for yourself. So looking at the eyeball, I'll start from the structures. This is the anterior portion and this is the posterior portion. So anteriorly, we have the outermost layer of your eye, like this white part of the eye. That's what we call the sclera. Uh, this part here. We try to use different layers. So that's the sclera. And then we have a layer. You see, we have a sclera, which is a layer, but inside it, we have another layer, which is just continuous with the sclera. So that layer that's continuous with the sclera is what we call the cornea. So this layer here, they are not actually separate. I just did it for point of emphasis. So the outermost is the sclera, then the layer that's continuous with it inside is the cornea. So talking about this cornea, what you need to know is that it's the main refractive surface of the eye, offering more than two-thirds of the total refraction that occurs within the eye. Then the next structure is the space we see here. So the space immediately after the cornea, this is what we call the aqueous humor, and it's between the cornea and the anterior surface of this structure here. You see in black, that's the lens. So between the cornea and the anterior surface of the lens, that's why we have the aqueous humor. So this is the aqueous humor. Then we have said this is the lens, our lens. So lens is there. So um, going back here, I'd like to talk about these layers. You see, I try to use different colors to indicate a layer. So we've talked about the outermost, which is blue. That's the sclera covering the entire eye, as you can see. Then we have an inner layer just beneath the sclera. That's what we called the choroid. This one in green you see, that's the choroid just beneath the sclera. Excuse me. So we are saying this is the choroid. and it's the nutritive layer which will provide the nutrients to the photoreceptors within the retina. And where is the retina? It's the layer below the choroid, this one in black here. So this layer is the retina. And the uniqueness about the retina is that it's where we find the photoreceptors. That's the rods and cones. Then, of course, we can follow these layers. They are the same layers. We have a space just um, from the retina. We have this space here, and it's called the vitreous humor. The one that was in front here, we called it the aqueous humor, and then the one which is in front is what we call, the one which is in the posterior portion is what we call the vitreous humor. The remaining parts, as you can see, we have this thick shading in green, which is a projection from the choroid. From the choroid, we have a projection of the ciliary body, which consists of the ciliary processes. As you can see, I tried to draw it, but they're a little bit small. So somehow like this, these are what we call the ciliary processes. So what will be the function of these ciliary processes? They are primarily for production of the aqueous humor here and in the anterior part of the eye. So we shall later on see that aqueous humor is very important because it's the one that regulates the it's like the fluid whose amount is regulated so as to regulate the intracranial pressure. That is, if it's too high, you find that the intracranial pressure will be very high. If it's too low, maybe due to obstruction in the path which it takes to reach this portion of the eye, you find that we have a low intracranial pressure. Then the other one are the ciliary muscle, which will be this portion here to which we have these red suspensions attached. So what are these red suspensions? The red suspensions here are the suspensory ligaments attached to the ciliary muscle. And what does that indicate? It indicates that the ciliary muscle uh, will directly determine the tension within the suspensory ligaments. And lastly is the optic disc, as we can see this portion here, where we don't have anything like a photoreceptor, but it's just a portion of the eye where the optic nerve, that is the nerve that carries the information from the eye to the brain, um, and the retinal arteries, it's the point where the optic nerve and the retinal arteries will exit and enter the eyeball. So that's the optic disc. And we'll see that this point here, we call it the blind spot because it doesn't have any photoreceptors. So that gives us an introduction into the anatomy of the eye. So another structure which had missed out is maybe the iris, which is when you look at your eye, that colored portion which you can see within your eye or someone's eye, of course you can't see yours, but what you can see within someone's eye, that colored portion is what we call the iris. I'll use this. The colored portion is known as the iris. And when you look at the iris, there is a space that remains um, in between the two layers, and that space is what you call the pupil. And what does it mean? If I have, let's say you have a curtain, this side it's colored, and also this side it's colored. So the space that remains in between is what we call the pupil. Meaning if I close these two curtains, or if I bring the curtains closer, I'll be reducing the space. We understand? However, if uh, if I take the curtains, all separate them, I'll be increasing the space. So bringing the curtain closer to each other is contraction, and taking the curtains apart, that's what you call relaxation, which means that the iris, which contains a muscle, directly uh, determines the size of the pupil, which in turn regulates the amount of light entering.